If managers in certain countries and culture are uncomfortable with the rating employee or giving direct feedback, it can be challenging to implement an effective performance management process. However, there are several strategies that can be used. In this case, I will only discuss about one strategy. It is the 360-degree feedback process. Does anyone know about it?
Yeah, please, here.
Individuals
Your name.
performance. Oh, my name is Anastasia.
Anastasia.
So the answer is individuals' performance of their job duties should therefore be measured and compared against appropriate standards. And the result should be communicated to employees on a regular basis so that performance can be improved. Given that most jobs have several elements and inherent complexities, multiple job duties are the rule rather than the exception. An individual might demonstrate better performance on some duties than others, and some duties might be more important than others to the organization. For example, professors are broadly required to conduct research, teach class, serve on communities, be involved in professional groups, and provide assistance to outside university stakeholders. Some professors may focus heavily on one or two areas of work over the other because the university values their particular aspect of the job.
Okay, thank you. So, as we all know that 360 degree is a full circle, right? So we can interpret it as feedback flow from all around the employees. 360-degree feedback is a performance appraisal process that involves gathering feedback from variety of sources, including employees, manager, peers, subordinates, and sometimes external stakeholders such as customers or suppliers. The purpose of this feedback is to provide employees with a more comprehensive and balanced view of their strengths and weaknesses. To help identify areas for development. By gathering feedback from multiple sources, employees can gain better understanding of how their performance is perceived by others and gain insight into how they can improve their performance. So, with this kind of problem that having the respect of authority and age with this solution, the employees who are older than us can get more all the feedback from anyone, even older than them or younger than them. Now let's move to the next part. Every employee has their own job duties. Job duties involving some tasks that the employee have to complete. Simply, job duties are what the organization pays for the employees to do. Then, is it possible for the organization to pay an outsider who are not their employees? What if it's possible that the organization pay for an outsider and it is more than their employee? What do you think about this action? And if their employee know about this, what will the employee do?
So, if an organization suddenly pays an outsider more than their current employees for the same job duties, it can lead to demotivation and low morale among the employees. This is because employees may feel undervalued and unfairly paid for their work. But it doesn't mean employees cannot do nothing. Employees can take the following steps. The first one is negotiate. If the employee feels that they are not being paid fairly, they can negotiate with their manager or HR representative to request a pay increase. But if the negotiation is failed, maybe employees can consider other options. For example, seeking new opportunities in new companies, or exploring external job opportunities, or seeking the help of labor union. But if that two-step also fail. This is the final step. Seek legal advice. So in some cases, the pay discrepancy may be due to discrimination or other illegal practice. If an employee suspects that this is the case, they can seek legal advice and file a complaint with the relevant company.
Again? Yes, please, Mary.
So maybe if we talk about whenever a company pays more to the people from outside the company, maybe commonly the worker is maybe feel jealous and unfair, right? But however, this is for me. This is should not to be difficult for a worker to accept it. When a company decides to use service from the third party, from the outside, it is likely that the decision has been carefully considered. Whenever they do this, there are only two possibilities. The first one is company doesn't have the worker would have the competency in the with the same needs from the company. And then the second possibility is the company have the worker, but the worker itself do not meet the required competency standard. So these two main reasons can make the worker practically understand to not questioning about the company's decision to pay the larger amount to the outsider. When the outsider can handle things that internal parties cannot, it is natural to provide with the compensation as a form of appreciation. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So, it is possible for an organization to pay more to an outsider than their employee if the outsider provides more value to the organization than the employee. Pay is typically based on a combination of factors including an individual skills, experience, education, and the value they bring to the organization. If an organization is hiring an outsider who has specialized skills or experience that the organization needs and cannot find among the current employee, it may be willing to pay more to attract that person into the organization. However, paying an outsider more than existing employee can have a negative implication for employee morale and engagement. It can create a sense of unfairness among employees, particularly if they feel that they are not being rewarded for their contributions for the organization. While it is possible for an organization to pay more to an outsider than its employee, it is important to ensure that this decision is based on objective factors, that it doesn't create a sense of unfairness or inequity among employees. As what I have described before, every organization has its goals, right? And they post some example standard performance for the employee to meet. So, what are some common examples for performance standards? Yes, please. You?
Actually, there's a lot of example of performance standard that outlines the type like the three most common use in the company. The first one, we have the quantity standards. These are based on the amount of work completed in a given period of time. For example, a call center may have a performance standard that requires employees to handle a certain number of customer calls per hour. The second one, we have the quality standards. These are based on the level of accuracy, trueness, and the excellence in the work produced. For example, manufacturing companies may have performance standards that requires the products to meet certain quality control measures. And the third one is time standard. They are based on completing work within a specific time frame. For example, the shipping company may have a performance standard that requires packets to be delivered within a certain number of days.
Okay, thank you. Yes, please.
For me, there are maybe two examples of me.
Go
The first
ahead.
one is the compliance atau in Indonesia we say that kepatuhan. We the company regulation and procedure. For example, such as the punctuality whenever we present to work, the absence when completing work according to SOP. So when the company have the requirement to we start the activity at 7, so the worker have to follow the regulation and present before their time, the 7. So, and then the second example for me is the fulfillment of company, such as maybe feedback target or evaluation target for effectiveness. For example, whenever a company maybe can set the minimum percentage ratio, for example, maybe around 60% that must be achieved by performance evaluation. That's all.
Nunggu.
Okay, thank you. Any other opinion?
Sudah ready dah.
Performance is have the responsibility or the perform requirement expectation. So I will give an example for the expectation. Maybe the example expectation, maybe the manager can expect to the employee to can sell the product. Maybe the can sell for the 100 per month. You have to sell to the customer. So maybe this is maybe the expectation to the employee can sell the product. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. So I have 5 the most common example. For the first is like just like Juan said, that the quantity. The number of units or tasks completed by an employee within specific period of time. For example, if for 1 year they can complete their assignment or their product for 20,000 products. If the requirement, the organization said that they need only 15,000, then the employee has exceed the organization's expectation. And then the next one is the quality, the degree of excellence or accuracy of work performed by an employee. For example, if the employee make the product, it's not much, but the quality is very good, so the customer will buy more of the product. Then the employee have met the requirement. And then the timeline, the ability of employee to complete tasks within required time frame. As the word, the employee who can complete a task with such a short time. And the next one is attendance, the frequency of an employee presence at work and their punctuality. If the employee doesn't arrive at their work or in the office, then the work is quietly cannot never be done. And then the last one is the communication, the ability of an employee to effectively communicate with coworker and customer. If the employee don't have the communication skill, they cannot communicate among the other employees, so they cannot work together. Or if the employee have the job that they have to talk to customer and they cannot do it, then yeah, it's doomed for the organization.